Hello, I'm Sabina, a CPA financial planner. I advocate for you to pay less taxes legally, legitimately, and ethically. Our practice focuses on tax-smart investing and wealth building. Today, I'd like to talk about Roth 401k versus traditional 401k. 6 questions to help you decide which is best for you. If you are familiar with Roth IRA, but did you know about Roth 401k? Introduced in 2006, decades after the traditional 401k was introduced in 1980, the Roth 401k is now the retirement savings option at nearly 70% of companies that offer traditional 401k plans. The difference between the two plans is when you pay taxes on your savings. With a traditional 401k plan, you don't pay taxes on the money you put into the plan, but you must pay taxes when you withdraw. On the contrary, with a Roth 401k, you have to pay taxes on the money you made contributions with, but you pay no income tax on it when you withdraw. $10,000 in a Roth account will pay $10,000 worth of your bills, but the $10,000 in pre-tax 401k money in the traditional account is not going to pay $10,000 of your bill because Uncle Sam's going to take a chunk of that when you withdraw it. Other than the tax treatment, nearly everything else between traditional and Roth 401k is the same. A contribution limit of $19,500 plus $6,500 if you're 50 or older applies to both. That's the total aggregate limit across both accounts, not for each one. The deadline to contribute to either account for the year is December 31st. Your company's match fund will go into the pre-tax, aka traditional account, no matter which account you designate for your own contribution. You would have access to the same investment options with either account. Your money grows tax-free in both. And with both accounts, you must start withdrawing money at age 72, which recently increased from 70 and a half, unless you're still working. The 6 questions to help you decide which 401k is best for you. They can help you pinpoint which account is the best option. They are in order of priority, so you can use them as a decision tree. First one, does my employer's retirement plan have a Roth 401k option? If your company doesn't offer it, you can't contribute to a Roth 401k. What you can do is lobby your human resource team to add a Roth component in the future. Second question is, will one account result in a higher company match? Typically, it doesn't matter. You will get the same matching amount whether you choose a Roth or traditional 401k. But there are 2 situations where it makes the difference. One is that your employer doesn't match Roth 401k. Some companies only match contribution to a traditional 401k, not a Roth. This is very uncommon, however, but it's important to ask about since the match is so valuable. If this is the case with your employer, a traditional 401k is the better choice. Second is that you can only contribute enough to get the full match with the help of the tax deduction. Contributing to a traditional 401k means lower tax now. If saving on tax free up additional money to contribute to your 401k, and that money in turn triggers more matching dollars from your employer, go that route. That can easily tilt the table in favor of a traditional 401k. If paying taxes now by choosing a Roth results in you making a smaller contribution and getting a smaller match from your employer, chances are that's not worth the tax benefit. The third question to ask, how many years am I from retirement? The longer you have for your money to compound, the more a Roth makes sense. Think of a snowball rolling down a really long hill. Do you want to pay tax at the top of the hill when the snowball is the size of your fist? Or do you want to pay taxes at the bottom of the hill when the snowball is the size of a car? The fourth question to ask, How does my current tax rate compare to my tax rate in retirement? This is the big question, really. Obviously, you want to pay taxes at the lowest rate possible, but it's tricky to predict whether your tax will be lower now or when you retire. No one knows what tax rate will be in the future. However, there are situations where you can make an educated guess. Are you on a career path that leads to substantial earning later on? Your tax bracket may be lower by comparison now, making the Roth a good choice. Are you close to retirement and in your peak earning years? Likely you're in the highest tax bracket you would ever have, and a traditional 401k contribution would be better. Are you working less and earning less as you transition into retirement? This might be the years to pile up money in a Roth 401k because you are in a lower tax bracket than when you were working full-time. The fifth question to ask, has my income shifted substantially recently? Many Americans dealt with periods of unemployment or reduced income in 2020 and even 2021. If you are one of them, you might be in a lower tax bracket than you've been in a while. So it would make sense to put as much into the Roth this year as you can while you are in the lower tax bracket. This recommendation highlights another key point. You can and should assess your contribution on a year-by-year basis, depending on your tax bracket for each year. In the lower income year, the Roth may make more sense. In the high income year, a traditional 401k make more sense. The last question to help you decide is, how much do I already have in each type of account? For most people, there is a big imbalance. Because traditional 401k have been available longer, it's common to have more money in those accounts. However, that can cause some trouble when you take out the money which you are required to do so through the required minimum distribution at age 72. If all of your assets are built on a pre-tax basis, you are setting yourself up for a big tax surprise later. One way to avoid this tax surprise is to have a decent chunk of money in both traditional and Roth accounts, pulling from each as needed to keep you from being bumped into a higher tax bracket. If your traditional and Roth assets are in balance, includes any IRA you have in this calculation as well. Consider tilting your contribution to the less funded accounts to give yourself more options in retirement. Still can't decide? You can always do both. If you want to cover your bases, you can contribute to both traditional and Roth 401k account at once. It is not all or nothing. You can have one foot in each camp. The contribution limit for 2021 is $19,500 plus additional $6,500 if you're 50 or older in total. That's for both type of 401k accounts, not for each one. Keep in mind that all company matching funds goes into the traditional 401k account. So if your aim is to fund both accounts at an equal level, you will need to tilt your personal contribution in favor of the Roth. For example, if you ultimately want 15% of your salary to go into your 401k, and your company offers a 3% match, you will need to contribute 7.5 to the Roth and 4.5 to the traditional. The takeaway, both Roth and traditional 401k will provide you with substantial tax saving. So there's no wrong choices. In the effort to optimize for your situation, don't lose sight of the big picture. The hard part is doing the contribution. Contributing as much as you can and then investing that appropriately. The decision between pre-tax and Roth is more of a diversification of your future tax exposure. Don't let that overwhelm you to the point where you are not able to contribute at all or not contributing as much as you could. If you find this video useful, please click on like, subscribe, and forward to those who may benefit from this tutorial. Please also head to basecpaplus.com to sign up for our email newsletter full of tips for less taxes and more investment return. Until next time, God bless.